you may have noticed that for a while the rate at which I put out videos about my Terraria mod Forgotten Evils has somewhat slowed down. And I have mentioned this before. One of the reasons is that I got a job. The other reason is that I had some secret projects that I was working on, and well, now I can tell you what that is. It is a full-on video game that I am making with some associates of mine. And I'm not doing this just for fun this time. I actually plan to publish and sell this game, so it is a serious project. I don't think I can expect it to explode like Undertale did, but seeing as I'm doing it all for free, I'll make at least a small profit, I hope. So, this game that has deprived you of many amazing Forgotten Evils videos, what is it? Well, to put it simply, it's just a 2D platform game. It's going to be linear. There will be a set of levels, each level being like a long set of rooms that you have to get through, and they just come one after the other. There will also be a boss fight at the end of every level, so it's going to be a pretty short game with maybe like 6 or 7 levels. You could probably do a full run in 1 hour if you were good enough. I didn't want to be too ambitious for my first project since we have a very small team, but we're hoping to make it so that the small amount of stuff that we do make is very good quality. So the people who are working with me on this project, I'll just refer to them by their Discord names, Dame Fallen and Vel. So Vel is in charge of all the sprite work, makes pretty much all the tile sprites, the background sprites, the enemy sprites. I've made a few placeholder sprites, but those have all been replaced with much better sprites. Dame Fallen is responsible for programming all the base enemies that you encounter in the levels, the physics system, and the player moveset, and lots of other technical stuff, basically. And also, both Dame Fallen and I are composing music tracks for the game, which brings us neatly to my duties. Aside from music tracks, I'm in charge of the level design, putting all the tiles down and making a layout that's hopefully fun to play through, putting down all the enemies. And I'm also in charge of making the bosses, because, as you probably know from my videos about Forgotten Evils, I'm pretty good at making bosses, or at least I like to think I am. At the time of recording this, 2 bosses have been completed that I'm pretty happy with, and about 4 areas have been made and pretty well fleshed out, but the first area remains the one that's been most optimized, and I'm currently starting work on the 5th area. I will confess, we have been working on this for a long time, almost a year now, so there's a lot of work that went into this project that I can't really show you, but you can probably see on screen now a little bit of what it looks like for me making the levels. We are making this in Game Maker, in case that wasn't clear from the footage I'm showing you, but it's proven to be a pretty good engine for what we want to make. And it probably goes without saying, but I'm making this video and planning to make more videos because I want to stir up some level of awareness and excitement for this game so it can make more money when it comes out. I'm not expecting anything really crazy, but we thought it would be a good idea. I know devlog videos can be very popular if done right, but of course I don't really have any experience in making them, so I would like to know, what would you guys like to see? More how it's made style videos where I show you the process of making stuff and the code that goes into it, or would you rather just see the finished products? You don't have to give me free advice about how to get more views on my videos, but I would appreciate it, since I want to make content that people will like. A large part of this game will also be the story, which we're already working into it, but I think we'll talk about that in a later video after I've shown you more of the actual game. I should say, if you enjoy my videos about Forgotten Evils and you like me as a creator, showing excitement and support for this game I'm making would be a really great way to help me out. Yeah, I did just guilt trip you. Deal with it. Jokes aside, I think for today I'll start small and just show you the moveset for our character. So this is our character, and you can run back and forth, of course. You can jump, all the basic things you would expect from a platformer. You can also dash. It's on a short cooldown, and it gives you a quick burst of speed, and also lets you dash through projectiles and enemies that would otherwise damage you. You can also use the dash in the air, but only once before you touch the ground again. You also have sort of a double jump, but it only works if you walk off a ledge without jumping, and it lets you jump in the air once. We added it because I found it kind of frustrating when I'd be running at top speed and jump just a split second too late, so I just walk off a ledge without jumping at all. Hopefully that should fix it. The way you attack is probably the simplest part. You just left click and shoot projectiles at your cursor. The sprite for the projectiles isn't permanent, it'll be made fancier later. We wanted to keep the moveset and combat system fairly simple. One, because we have a very small team, and this isn't a super ambitious project, but also because we wanted to be able to focus on making the levels and the boss fights good more easily without having to work around some complicated moveset. Oh, and I don't know if I mentioned this, but the game is called Overcast, and that name, well, for one, it sounds cool, but it also has to do with the main plot of the game, which we will talk about in a later video. In the meantime, feel free to show your support for this game and my channel by liking, subscribing, and feel free to let me know what kind of videos you'd like to see in the future regarding this game's development. Thank you, goodbye.